What is real estate referrals and what on earth is a real estate referral fee? There are a lot of things that I'm kind of hoping we take away from today. First off, so that you understand what a referral fee is, how do agents get paid for it, what is a referring agent compensated when the deal closes, right? Next would be a standard referral fee and what's the expected pay of that and how is that distributed? Is there a formal agreement when you're in referrals? We'll talk about that quite a bit. How does the receiving agent actually pay the other agent or get paid by the other agent? And then, of course, why are these valuable? Why are we talking about this? So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. So let's start from the top. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is a real estate referral fee? Real estate agent referral fees themselves are a payment when one agent refers a client to a second agent, to any other agent, typically in another organization, but it can be done internally as well. The system encourages actually for agents to work together, for agents to refer to each other. This ensures that a client, no matter where they want to do business, is going to receive the best possible service based on their location of where they're doing this transaction, where they're buying. Even if the original agent isn't able to assist them directly, they can send them to an agent either in that area or in a different state or even in a different country. Referral fees help you to set up strong real estate networking systems, essentially incentivizing real estate agents around the world to talk to each other and to solicit client movement between each other, right? Here at Keystone, we are based in the state of Florida. We can certainly do business outside of Florida. We have footprints that are coming online in Colorado and in Texas and in Louisiana currently. But with that happening, we can't wait for our central agents to be able to take over a whole state or to be able to be centralized to our clients' needs. We've got people that want to be able to do business now. So we can actually find agents that either have the same accreditations with us or the same certifications that we're seeing in the network, a common educational background, or simply we've built a good relationship with them because we just happen to be working through another state. Myself, as the broker of Keystone, I do an insane amount of traveling. We do quite a bit of legislative work inside of the Florida legal system, as well as the Florida state and local repositories. We like to make absolutely sure that when we meet agents, we get their business card, we stay in communication, no different than we do with a client. Ultimately, build a real estate network inside of what we're doing in the real estate industry. Referrals are going to help create that networking bond. It's going to make sure that, hey, I don't just know you and, hey, I've got a great client that's moving from Florida to New York, but I'm going to give you to an agent that I've already built a relationship with. This is a trusted agent. They have trusted and validated production. They know the area you're trying to move into. Hell, they may even be local to the area that you're moving to, but it's a one-to-one transition so that that agent gets a warm handoff of here is this client, here's the business that they have done with us down in Florida. They'd like to be able to buy something in New York, either an investment property or a transition property or a summer home there, a winter home here, or whatever they would like to do. Typically in Florida, it's the other way around. This is the wintering spot where all of the locals come around the world that live in colder climates. But the benefit is not only for the client, because that's ultimately where the end result needs to take place. That's the service we're providing, taking care of the buying or selling client. But it benefits the client and the agents that are both involved because it fosters collaboration. It allows us to expand the business opportunities. Ordinarily, handing over a client to another state means that I have no benefit whatsoever other than helping my friend in New York do some additional business, add some business to their pipeline. But for a few agents, referrals are understood. Referrals are an excellent way to start building a bigger book of business outside of your traditional real estate game. Gaining the experience and making those connections early on are going to be critical. On the flip side, sending out a referral is going to be a great way to earn that additional income without having to do all the legwork. You will no longer be doing the heavy lifting. You're just a touch point because you've built a relationship with that client. You have to still expect at some point they might return to your home state and want to do business with you. But in the meantime, you knew somebody and you referred them into that other agent in another state. It makes it a win-win for everyone that is involved. So the parties that are involved in a real estate referral. Real estate referrals include different parties with specific roles and responsibilities. Some of the roles that are involved in a referral transaction are the referring agent. That is typically the real estate professional, like a lender or an investor, that recognizes that a client needs to fall outside of their geographic area and wants to refer them to another agent that either they're not licensed to do business in directly or simply don't have the experience in that region, and they know they're going to get the best possible service for their client by allowing this other agent to take the lead. Then if the deal closes, the referring agent receives a referral fee, ultimately a finder's fee, a percentage of the commission that was earned back to them, because we all know in real estate, a lot of us purchase leads anyway. And when those really good, hot leads are brought to us, we know that we typically have to pay for them, whether you're paying for them at close or whether you're advertising and doing campaigns, or these are upfront referral costs that you are incurring. We all know that leads aren't cheap. There is a dollar value behind every single one of them that we procure. The next role is the receiving agent. The receiving agent is the one that accepts this new referral and works with the client to actually complete the transaction. Find the home, complete the home, list the home if it's in that area. They do all of the legwork for that. Many times in Florida, we are getting referred from another state for someone that wants to move into the state of Florida. That agent is handling the listing and the closing. On that side, we're handling finding the new home and the closing of the transaction for the new purchase and helping them with their move guidelines and utilizing our concierge service to make sure that all of the people that need to help them move smoothly and efficiently for their families or for themselves for work can be done quickly and efficiently. Next role is the client themselves. This individual is looking to buy, sell, or rent a property. They are connected with the receiving agent, make sure that they get the best possible service. You're referring them in. Hey, I know Alex down in Florida. I'm going to refer you to him. He and I will work out the details on how I am compensated, but you work directly with Alex. Keep me posted if there's any kind of problems. But ultimately, he's a professional. He knows the Florida area. He knows where you want to go. He's going to make sure you're taken care of. That's his local realm of expertise. And then, of course, there are the brokers on each end. The brokers are the licensing agencies or firms in both sides that make the agreement what the agents are going to be compensated. The agents will probably do a verbal review of what they would like. Hey, I'd like to see 20% or 25% or 30% or whatever, whatever that arrangement may be, always negotiable, and it's negotiable between the real estate agents. This has nothing to do with the end customer, the client themselves. This is 100% negotiated between the agents, and then they work with the brokers to make sure that agreement is in writing and signed off on by both brokerages, because it's the brokerage that's going to make sure the other brokerage gets paid, and then each brokerage pays the agent. Monies, especially in the state of Florida, but I'm pretty sure in all 50 states, all pass through the brokerage. That is where the insurances are held. That is where the attorneys sit. That is where the liabilities are best protected. And that's where we want to make sure that all funds pass through the brokerage. You never want agents having their hands on the money. It just causes problems, not only for the agent, but getting those monies to where they belong and transferring those agents and monies to the final transition. It's just way too many unnecessary cogs in the machine. So who pays real estate referral fees? Referral fees themselves are paid by the receiving agent, the agent that's completing the transaction in question, from their commission, not by the client. The client's only responsible for the total commission that's outlined in their agreement between the agent. The receiving agent deducts that referral fee from their earnings and pays the other brokerage, the brokerage that actually referred you the client. The payment's always made after the transaction is completed. That ensures that the receiving agent is compensated only when the deal is done. If no deal is transacted, there is no pass of funds. If they are unsuccessful or the client changes their mind and doesn't do anything, there is no expectation of payment for the referring agent. How much is it? How much is this worth? Why are we having an entire class on this today if it doesn't have any value to me as an agent? I would say the standard average real estate agent referral fee is about 25%. You use that as your guideline for where you're going to negotiate from. And this is of the gross commission earned by the receiving agent, the one that actually closes the transaction. The rate's kind of common in residential as well as commercial transactions. It does vary based on the agreement between agents and the likelihood of closing. If this is a listing, for example, that is a guaranteed close, you've even got the buyer set up, you know who's going to do it. And please base this on the level of effort that you're going to put into the deal. If you're still going to have to manage the client because the client won't work with anyone else, even though you're referring them to another state, just as the example, negotiate that appropriately with the other agent, and the other agent will understand. If you're going to do more of the heavy lifting based on the lift, whoever's going to do the most lifting should receive most of the compensation. It's not just about the client, but it's about the quality of the client and the guarantee of the transaction closing. I typically take whenever I'm calculating this out for a referral, it's the property's final sale price times that receiving agent's commission times the referral fee percentage. That's going to give you your referral fee. So ultimately, if you're using the 25% method and you're closing a deal and the commission is going to be $4,000 is the total commission gained, the gross commission, then the referring agent will be entitled to, at 25%, $1,000 of that. And again, those funds are transferred between brokerages, and then the agents are compensated. And the reason that's important is because the agent might have some type of share or some type of split requirement for referrals at the brokerage level. So the brokerage will take their cut of that, and then they will pay the agent if that's the way it's going. There are several factors that influence the referral fee too, by the way. So referral fee can change, and I have seen them go as low as 20% and as high as 35% based on factors. The market conditions, so the demand and the timing can definitely impact the rate. This is essential when you're considering the best and worst times to buy a house. If the client is blind and they are heading up to the other state to work with this agent you referred them to, they have not begun a search, they have no idea where they're going to go, they have a very difficult timeline, they don't have a lot of flexibility, that agent's going to do most of the legwork. They deserve the highest percentage of compensation, and you just want to make absolutely sure the market condition is right for the client that's leaving your area. 2, the complexity of the referral itself. High value or niche transactions might warrant a different fee or a structure. If this is a VA client that's going to have to deal with additional inspections and additional requirements, or this is a VA client that has to live at a certain point, a certain proximity of a local base, or if this is a very large purchase, very expensive commissions that will be centered out, you still need to be considerate of how difficult it is to find a higher price home versus, say, a standard price home for that state. And then, of course, the level of service and hand-holding that is required by the agent that's going to be dealing with your old client. This client is a handful. Absolutely take that into consideration. If you feel like they're going to be working their butts off, looking at many houses or educating the client consistently to the area, taking them out to lunches, educating the client on how they're going to move forward, educating them on a different state's process. Please, if your referral that you're sending them is going to demand more involvement, it should affect the agreed percentage that you're talking about. So how do you ask? How do you start a referral fee process? How does that come on? And I'm going to start this with understanding of why you're important to this. You already have built a relationship with this client. You either helped them into the home that they're in, or you helped them sell the home of why they're leaving. So one way or the other, if you stayed top of mind, you did all your follow-up, you built the relationship, the client trusted you for this. So every single real estate transaction that I'm embedded in, they hear about referrals consistently. Hey, by the way, if you know any family and friends, not just in Florida, that need my services, need my help, you enjoy doing business with me, please refer me to them. If I can't help them, I will find an equal calibered agent in their state so they don't have to just pick and choose from the internet or pick and choose from Zillow or whatever agent is just handed to them because they called with interest of a house blindly. We do have a level of service that's out there. A lot of us are on the Better Business Bureau. We are stack ranked, if you will, inside of our areas. And honestly, if I'm going to provide a quality of service like this in Florida, I want the same quality of service, if not better, if my client's moving to another state. I don't want them to have to deal with no offense, newbies, but a brand new agent that may not have proven their salt or their worth yet. So here's how you kind of approach this conversation, right? Securing that referral fee is going to require clear communication and professionalism between you and the agent that you're sending your client to. Agents should confidently be able to present a referral request and a written agreement while ensuring transparency and fairness. So here's how you approach that conversation. First off, you can establish the value of the referral. So before you even make the request, highlight the value of who you are bringing to them. Most people are going to be a little hesitant. Why would someone give me a lead? Why would someone be handing me somebody? They must be difficult. This isn't the case with referrals. This isn't necessarily a lead handoff. You can't do business where the client's going. You still have the opportunity to capture some of the real estate work that you had done, and you may lose that client forever. They may never return to your home state or business area. You want to make sure that you can capture one more percentage and make sure to take care of them. That relationship has a value to your business, and that's the way it should be thought of. So highlight the value of the referral to the person that you're referring into. Emphasize how the client's qualified. How motivated are they? How ready are they to proceed? What capability do they have to proceed? And how can you make the transition beneficial to both parties? Then be clear and concise, and for that matter, direct. You need to absolutely set the expectation for the referral fee upfront. Avoid the vague language. Make sure the receiving agent knows exactly what you're expecting, what type of percentage is being requested, and ensure they're on board with it before you give them any information. Sorry, but if I'm going to bring you to my friend in New York or Tennessee or Colorado, I'm going to have an agreement in place before I give you any of that information. I'm not going to have you calling my client a week later saying, hey, did you ever find a real estate agent you wanted to work with? Alex had told me about all of your information before. I just want to make sure my name's on the list for interviewees. Referencing the industry standards. Most referral fees fall within that 20, 25, 35%. It's still a pretty good range when you look at the amount of money in the commission. There needs to be an understanding of what the receiving agent's commission is going to be. And you need to cite these industry norms on how to make the industry or the negotiation itself a little bit smoother. You need to absolutely put it in writing. After you have that verbal handshake, you want to make sure that as a formal real estate agent, a referral agreement from your state to them outlines all the key terms. What's the percentage? What are the payment conditions? If there's an expiration date, it needs to be on there. And it's a written contract. It protects both of you and ensures there are no misunderstandings. If you find out from this person you referred upstate that they went through with the transaction and you weren't paid or you weren't considered, then if several things happened that shouldn't have happened. You didn't get that agreement over like you needed to. You did not get a copy of that agreement to the brokerage. The brokerages need to sign off on any of these referrals that are done. This is not an agent to agent signature. This is a brokerage to brokerage signature. So they have a business requirement and a business liability to make sure those commissions are paid appropriately. And maintain your professionalism, please. Even if other agents decline your referral fee, keeping that conversation professional is going to strengthen relationships for the future. They just may not know you or may not have time for the referral or may not trust what you're telling them. They don't know if they don't know you enough. Don't be upset if they say, no, I'm simply not interested. Or that's a little further out than I like to work. Even with the opportunity for a commission, that's not something I'm interested in. Be fine with that and then seek within your professional network to be able to find someone else. Follow up. We say this on every single class. Once the deal is in progress, check in periodically with the agent. Make sure that things are on track. You do not want to derail anything or try to over professional the person that's actually doing the work in the other state. If some questions come up and the old client just liked the way you explained things better, all of you get on the phone together. Never undermine the agent doing all of the work. You can't be the top dog in a transaction in another state. You're going to have to let them do their job. And they may be following the rules and guidelines of their brokerage that you may not be aware of either. So make sure that you're following up to make sure that everything is just remaining on track. After the closing, politely remind the agent of, hey, don't forget our terms and how is the timeliness of your brokerage in sending our brokerage that referral payment. Keep it confidential, but absolutely stay professional. Ask for your referral fee. Agents will maximize their earnings while they foster a strong industry relationship, and that's absolutely worth it. And believe me, real estate, as many of us that are in the business around the United States, especially, it's a small world. If you're out there creating turmoil, one of us is going to hear about it in the state that you're doing business. So let's talk a little bit about the elements of a real estate referral agreement too. If it's well structured, it should be simple. It ensures simple clarity and fairness for both parties. We have a Florida referral fee form that shows the originating agent, the receiving agent, the brokerages are both listed, what the expectations are, what was the agreed payment, and how it's going to be paid by the brokerage itself. You want to make sure before you're sharing and accepting referral leads that you understand the key terms so there's no miscommunication. You don't want to have said something, they misunderstood it, and when the paperwork gets to the brokerage, the broker has a conversation going, what is this? And how do they retain all rights to the client moving forward? If you don't pay attention to each state's referral agreement, you can end up in some interesting positions. But strong referral agreement should include your name and contact information, the client's name and contact information, the referral fee expectation, the percentage. The conditions for that payment should be outlined very clearly so that they know how it's going to be paid, such at the successful closing of a transaction. The expiration date should be clearly posted. Set a time frame so that you can ensure the agreement remains valid for the period necessary for your client to buy a home in that other area. And then, of course, signatures from both sides. Both agents should sign it to formalize the agreement. Both brokerages should also sign it to formalize the agreement between the pass-through. Look, be prepared. Having a pre-made referral agreement will save you a lot of time and ensure a smooth process whenever you're referring these opportunities to different agencies. A very simple, ready-to-use contract will allow the agents to fill in the details and proceed very efficiently. If you're looking for a free, easy referral agreement, there are tons of them inside of your MLS systems. There are shareable document systems that are in there too, and it needs to make sense in your state. Let's get you to the why. Why would an agent refer a client? There are a list of reasons that I've already kind of touched on while we talk today, but it always comes down to ultimately you need to put the client's best interest ahead of the transaction. The referral is going to ensure that they receive the expertise and the service that best fits their needs. It may be necessary when a work falls outside of your scope and your capacity, and it allows the client to be better served. So don't be afraid to, I know a person, and bring them to it. You probably refer clients to um, insurance professionals, cleaning professionals, moving professionals, lending professionals all the time. This is no different. An agent to agent referral, however, has a larger piece of the pie at risk. So you just want to make sure to keep the professionalism up. Real estate agents should consider referring clients to other agents under most of these situations. If there's a geographic limitation where the client's interested in buying, selling a property outside of your normal market or region, consider referring them. Specialized expertise. If the client is requiring the expertise that falls outside of that agent's specialty, if they are a veteran client and they need to buy within a certain area of a military base, for example, military isn't your thing, you don't understand what the commutes look like, you don't understand the interworkings of a military family or how they need to have some additional attentions and what they need to consider whenever they're making decisions, then you need to refer them into a VA expert, someone that knows that. The SRES, if you've got clients that are senior citizens or anything like that, you need to be considerate of who is your client, who do they work with well, what is their story, so you're referring them into the right places. You might not specialize in commercial properties, luxury estates, farms, or wide open spaces, but you know another agent that can. Don't be afraid to refer them in so that your client gets the best experience. It's the experience they're going to remember that's still going to get you a reference later on. Remember, they know people where they moved from. They're going to share your name. Hey, Bill, if you're still living in Florida, don't forget to talk to Alex. He took care of us even when we moved across the country. Too many clients. That's another reason. If the agent has accepted too many clients and is just simply overwhelmed, they're not going to be in a position to provide the services that the client needs within the timeliness that they need to handle their case. So don't be afraid to, when overloaded, refer to another agent, even within your own agency. Don't draw too many lines against a personality check, right? Just a better fit in general. If the agent knows another professional who's going to be a better match for this client's needs and preference, if city mouse versus country mouse is in play and you just need to find somebody that is a better fit for them so they are more comfortable, the client, with the relationship that they're building with an agent, refer them in. It's a legitimate cause. At the client's request is another one that comes up. Sometimes the client just might want to be referred to another agent. Hey, for some reason, I don't want to work with you any longer. Either you're too busy, or I need someone that speaks a different language, or I need someone that's better tuned to my needs. And you're a great person, but as an agent, we are not a good fit. People like to do business with people that they like. So don't be afraid to refer them to someone else, and that's okay. And be professional and make sure they know we're not all created equally. I get it. If I'm not a good fit for you, my job is to make sure you get the best experience possible. Let me refer you to another agent, and you can interview them prior to acceptance. Market conditions. That's another big deal. Market conditions and trends that you're unfamiliar with is going to necessitate handing this client off to another agent. to be effective. And I'm talking about another state or internally to your own state as well. If you are a city specialist, if you are a downtown specialist, if that is what you do, if you are a high-end luxury account specialist and this client is looking for a starter home, or they have brought to you their kids and this is a first-time homebuyer experience and that's just not your thing, find an agent that it is their thing for them. They brought you that client, or that client trusts you. There's a reason for that. And the people that you know are going to make that difference for them. And then, of course, professional relationships. For you to develop a professional relationship with another agent and a broker, referrals are going to help you close that gap. It's going to allow those relationships to grow naturally and into a circle of trust with mutual benefits. So don't be afraid to use them. And that's why going to all these networking events and meeting other agents and collecting their information is just as important as meeting and closing deals with clients. So what do I do when the referral actually closes? Hey, congratulations. You successfully referred a client to someone else. They did the job that you referred them into and did a great job. They got the deal closed. Now what? Wrap it up. Referring a deal has strong relationship boundaries, and it increases the chance for future referrals if it's a clean transition at the end. So while the referring agent might check in, have proactive communication, ensure a smooth process, and keeps the door open for more opportunities, you still want to make sure to stay in communication with them post-event. Make sure that you build a stronger relationship moving forward, and make sure that they understand that they have a referral obligation that they need to follow up if they haven't already started the conversation themselves. So confirm the closure details. Everything regarding the deal has been closed out in accordance with the term of the referring agency. Every single document needs to have been signed and submitted. All of us are required to keep these documents as agents and as brokers and brokerages. You need to make absolutely sure that your T's and C's are done. Second, notifying the referring agent. If the referring agent or the broker hasn't alerted you that the closure has happened, and you know from the client, for example, don't be afraid to touch base with them. I assume that all other brokerages are as busy as we are too. Sometimes things just slip to the end of the week, and you just need to know where they are in that process. So any details regarding the completion need to be provided. Calculation of the referral fee should be easy. You calculate the referral fee based on the amount of the percentage of the commission agreed as agreed to. So you may have chosen a percentage of the gross, a percentage of the net, a flat fee, whatever the arrangement was, that's the amount that should be sent to you with the terms spelled out very specifically on the actual referral agreement. Then make sure the payment is made. So paying the referral fee or the broker in a timely manner is obviously the most important thing, but using the payment type set up in the referral agreement is another. Typically, it'll be either a bank transfer between brokerages, never agent to agent, never another brokerages paying the agent either. In Florida, they do allow us to do agent transfers or referral agreement transfers at the title company level. So we can actually do an agreement to pay, give them a copy of the referral fee, and they'll pay the referring company directly. It's also an option for you, but typically all funds will go to the brokerage that actually closed the transaction, and then they will cut another check or a wire transfer to the referring brokerage. So, and then they will pay the agent. That's on them at that point. Make sure that all of your documentation was sent appropriately, and if there's anything that's required by your state, to make sure that everything is all buttoned up and all of the file can be closed as sold, then you want to make sure that is done. And an itemization email of how all that was done is great too. Here are the documents I've provided, including the referral. Here is the final expectations of the referral payment and that reminder of how that needs to be paid. Thank you so much. Continue building the relationship. And then that thank you was important. Thank the referring agent. Don't forget that. This part is instrumental for you to be able to maintain a good relationship or future referrals. And remember, our network in real estate is small. You will bump into them again, or worse, you'll bump into their broker that remembers the stories that they heard of a bad relationship. That creates bad juju in your market. You absolutely don't want to do that. All of us as brokers travel state to state to state to make sure that things are lined up correctly on how the industry continues to work. So we want to make sure that we keep that done at a professional level, and the thank yous should be there. Small gift, according to what your states allow, would also be a nice gesture to maintain future lead flow. We do have some pretty cool questions today, and I appreciate everybody liking, following, and continuing to keep the channel alive. We love doing these trainings for all of our real estate friends, and most importantly, the clients that like to listen in to learn behind the mind of the agent and what should they expect to do whenever they're making this type of investment. So one of the first questions is, what's the difference between a referral fee and a commission? Okay. So a referral fee is actually a percentage of the commission that's paid to whoever closes the transaction. Another way on it's only earned by the agent completing the transaction entirely, and it's typically a percentage of the property's sale price. So it's not a complicated transaction. There's not a massive formula that's needed. It's simply a split between the listing agent and the buyer's agent that's going in. If the buyer's agent received the lead through a referral, portion of their commission would be paid as the referral fee. What is the difference between a referral fee and a finder's fee? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is different. Referral fee, again, is the percentage of the commission that was paid to the closing agent, to the transaction closing brokerage. It's typically outlined inside of that formalized agreement, so it's easy to calculate. A finder's fee, on the other hand, is often a one-time fixed fee payment given to someone, licensed or not, for introducing a deal. So while referral fees follow industry regulations where agents must have an active and a valid license to be paid, brokerages must be active and valid to be used as a pass-through, etc. All of those things all those boxes have to be checked before brokerages can send information. Tax information has to be shared. Internal numbers for these businesses and organizations have to be shared between each other, blah, blah, blah. But while referral fee follows an industry regulation, a finder's fee complies with the state laws, especially when involving unlicensed individuals. There are maximums. You may not be able to do a cash referral fee. $25 gift card may be appropriate, but please follow your state's guidelines. But a finder's fee is typically one of the people that you use for other work, whether they are a plumber or electrician or a moving company or even a lender. They will never capture a percentage of a commission. They're not a paid real estate agent. They cannot receive commissions. Send them a nice referral gift based on the limitations of your state. Can only real estate agents refer leads? Could I build strictly a referral business? Okay, that's a good one. While licensed real estate agents and brokers typically make referrals to each other, unlicensed individuals and other real estate professionals like mortgage brokers, attorneys, things like that, can also refer you leads. Former clients often refer friends, family. They may even receive a gift or some type of incentive instead of a referral fee themselves. So that's how you would take care of that. And then how are typical real estate referral fees structured? Typical real estate referral fee structures. All right, let me see if I can't kind of repeat what I had said earlier in a different way. Real estate referral fees are always a percentage of the commission earned or a flat fee that has been requested by the agent. Before you make a referral, an agent will agree to this percentage or flat fee through a written referral agreement. The standard fee is on average 25% of the full commission that is received. It can vary based on the specifics. Obviously, I talked about that earlier, but as long as you clearly outline what the expectations are inside of that written contract, that'll help you maintain transparency and prevent any type of misunderstandings. Good questions today. Thanks, everybody. Look, a solid understanding of real estate referrals will foster better collaboration between agents, period. It ensures top tier service for your clients, and that's the reason that you're doing this. Referrals will help you expand your agent network. It's going to match clients with the right expertise. It's going to make sure that it leads to a positive testimonial and strengthen your credibility, quite honestly, inside of your own market, as well as imagine the compliment of receiving the referral. And we didn't know this agent, but my agent back in Florida referred me in. Best decision I ever made by continuing to follow my primary real estate agent's advice. By you building this strong referral system, you as an agent can continuously generate new business opportunities for yourself. I would say at least 20% of my annual year over year comes from referral fees from out of state. You can create a thriving real estate ecosystem based on this type of trust and cooperation and mutual success. So, as you continue to expand your real estate knowledge, as you continue to close transactions, talk to family, talk to friends, build a larger sphere of influence, don't forget to just remind them on your social medias. I am a real estate agent and I have a very exciting network of agents nationwide. I would be happy to refer you to any of you that are interested. I know what it takes to be the very best in my industry. I would only refer you to the best as well. Thanks everybody for your day today. I appreciate you waking up on a beautiful Saturday morning. Swing of spring is still in full effect. Get out there and sell some houses. Thanks everybody. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Recording is stopped.